So this is the basic definition of the Snowflake. Snowflake is a data warehouse and it's software as a service. And when it is coming to architecture of the Snowflake, when it's compared to other traditional database, data warehouse or database architecture, and then this Snowflake architecture is completely different and easy to maintain and easy to use. Very flexible when we are dealing with management. I mean, so licensing and then costing. So it's very flexible when compared to the other things. So this is a just basic the definition, right? So for our better understanding, so I will give you an example. Then we will come back to the this particular definition. So then we'll clearly understand what exactly the Snowflake is. Now we have two things: traditional data warehouse, right? And then Snowflake, or we can say it, cloud data warehouse. Generally, why we will use a data warehouse? To maintain data. To maintain historical data, we are going to use a data warehouse. Okay. Now, so keep this side, for this side, we will discuss again. Now, traditional data warehouse examples, for example, in market, we have Oracle and then DB2 or Teradata, SQL Server. So many things is available in the market. When it is coming to the cloud, we have AWS, so Amazon services, at the same time Google Cloud Services and Azure, right? All are providing cloud data warehouse. Along with this, the Snowflake also we have a cloud data warehouse. Now, what exactly the difference? So between the cloud and then traditional, then we will jump into the Snowflake. Now, so here we'll take an example of a car. So when you have a requirement of a car, so we have what we have to do basically. So we need to give a down payment, right? Or we need to implement, we need to give full payment. Before that, so we need to decide so which car we require, right? Is it a 4-seater or 4-seater or 6-seater, or you want a normal car or luxury car, right? Then so you need to give a payment. Then if you want to go for a EMIs, you can give the down payment and then you can go for a EMIs. Once you purchased, then we need parking place, right? Then if you don't know driving, then you need a driver. And at the same time, so for regularly monthly expenses, it means it kind of petrol or service, whatever it may be. So we need a maintenance, right? At the same time, so every year, so we need to go for a service. That is also it will come under the maintenance, right? All these things it is required. And suppose you, so now, so when you purchase here, let's assume that so 4 members in a family, okay, or 3 members in a family, so you have purchased 4-seater capacity, right? Then so maybe after 1 year or 2 years, so you need a 6-seater. So then what you need to do? So you need to upgrade your car, right? It means so you need to purchase a new car, right? So this is traditional services. Traditionally, it means traditional. Consider this example for traditional data warehouse. Okay. So you need a, for example, when you are planning for a data warehouse, so you need servers. You need a servers, and you need to purchase a license, and you need a place for this servers, and you need admins to maintain this particular data warehouse. And at the same time, so if you want to upgrade or downgrade, if you want to upgrade your services or servers, then every time so you need to purchase, right? License renewal will be there, maintenance will be there, and then so when you have a place for that, so you need to pay power bills, and then so you need to um, pay the rent for the so everything. And apart from all these things, you need a admin, right? So these all the things is required. The same way, now the same services. So what is here? What exactly we are planning here? So just we are utilizing our car services. For that, so we have another thing, Uber or Ola services, right? Whenever you have a requirement to utilize your car, then what you are going to do here? You are going to utilize their services. That's it, right? So only the thing is what you require. You need to install a app. Then based on based on your requirement, you are going to book your car. Suppose if you want to go to office alone, so you will book a compact car, right? So if you want to go for a trip with family, what you are going to do? You are going to book a luxury car, right? It depends on our requirement. We can able to, we have a plan to so upgrade or downgrade, so based on our requirement. And here, no maintenance, no maintenance, right? And then no EMIs, no down payment, and so no parking place, not required, right? So it is not our headache, right? What you are going to do? Pay. We are paying only for what we are using, right? Pay for use. We are going to pay only for what you are using. This you can consider as a cloud services. Cloud services. The complete software as a service we are utilizing, right? This is nothing but a software as a service. Okay, now, so this one, so when we are related to this Ola Robo services, when we are related to Snowflake, so that is a closer. What is the advantage and disadvantages you have observed here, right? So we don't want to pay the maintenance. We are not going to bother about the driver. We are not going to bother about the down payment. And then whenever you want, so you can upgrade, or whenever you want, you can downgrade based on your requirement, right? So at the same time, so no need to bother about the parking, right? So just you are utilizing the services. That's it. And whenever you are utilizing the services, then only you are paying, right? When you are not utilizing the services, so you are not paying anything, right? Suppose assume that you have paid some bulk amount, and then you have purchased the car. So maybe 6 months you have utilized. After that, so assume that due to some other scenarios, so maybe let's assume that so you have a opportunity for on-site or whatever it may be. So then you are not going to utilize the car for 6 months or 1 year. Then so it's a waste of money, right? Okay. Now coming to this our snowflake thing. Now observe this. So this is the definition of the snowflake. Now you can understand very so easily. So relate with the example. It's a software as a service. We are utilizing the complete software as a service here. It enables data storage and processing. So here when it is coming to cloud data warehouse, especially so when it is coming to the snowflake, So storage engine is separate and then processing engine is separate. So we will discuss about that in the next slides. So that's why it's very so faster and very easy to use. So why this difference when it is compared to other cloud warehouses? So what they have done is storage layer is separately and then compute layer separately they are handling. And even though so the architecture is completely different, even though when they are utilizing any one of the cloud services, compute services they are so utilizing for the cloud, it can be AWS, it can be GCP, it can be Azure. So they are utilizing the services from them. But when it is coming to the base architecture, they have completely different. Now, so these are the differences what we have discussed. This one is traditional warehouse, and this one is Snowflake data warehouse. So whatever the differences we have discussed, right? Same thing it is here. Okay. Now let's come to the architecture. Now observe this. This one, the first layer, so it's completely your services. And second layer, this one is compute layer. And third layer is a storage layer. So Snowflake storage, it will charge separately. For the computation, it will charge separately. So whenever you file a query, then only it is going to charge. Once you store the data, let's assume that you have a table. So you need to store this data into specific table. Once you store the data, it will charge some amount. Then whenever you are firing a query, then only it will charge something so from the users. So it won't charge until unless so when you are firing a query. It means so they are taking some amount for the data storage. Then whenever you require to use that particular data, then only it is charging. So let me show you the detailed architecture here. Now observe this one completely cloud services layer. It can be this service, it can be a AWS, it can be a Azure, or it can be a Google Cloud. And coming to compute resources, this one is a compute resource like a virtual machines. Maybe we heard about remote desktop or VDIs, right? The same thing here. And this is a complete storage. So database. Here, when you fire a query, first it will go to the cloud services and then it will check authentication and access and security. Then it will decide, the infrastructure manager will decide how many VDS we need to accommodate for this. It means, in a best example, let me tell you an example. Suppose we have a work, we have work, it has to be finished in 100 hours. 100 hours. Now it will decide based on our configuration. It is going to decide. Suppose if your configuration is you need to use two VDIs or two. So here we used to call this as a virtual warehouse. This is not your traditional warehouse. So this is a virtual warehouse is nothing but here this VDIs. This VDIs. Now two VDIs, if you configure, then how many hours it is going to take this 100 hours work. So you are going to finish it in 50 hours, right? Now, if your configuration is 5 VDAs based on our configuration, then it is going to finish it in 20 hours, right? Here, based on our requirement, you are going to decide how many virtual warehouses it is required here. So this infrastructure manager will decide so how based on your requirement. So you used to call it as a t-shirt size here. It will vary from uh, small to 4x large. generally, so how our t-shirt sizes will be there, XS, extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, right? Like that. After extra large, 2x large, 3x large, 4x large, up to 4x large. So this virtual warehouse we are going to decide when we are configuring. Based on that configuration, it will decide how many VDS we need to configure. This infrastructure will decide that one, this infrastructure layer. Okay, so we'll discuss some more when we jump into the classes. Then it will check, optimize based on the metadata information. If already the data is available, the metadata, suppose let's assume that you have filed select count start from EMP. It means you are checking only the count. It will be available in metadata. It will not go to the database. It will not go to the virtual. Directly, it will fetch the data from metadata. It will give it to you. Suppose if you have any other information, so if you require any other specific columns, suppose so from the table, you are going to from the employee table, let's assume employee name and employee ID, employee salary is required. Only three columns. It will go and find. So these three columns, if it is those information will not be available in metadata. The only the high level information. What is the table size, and then what will be the count, and then max, min, this kind of information. If you want the data, then it will send the query to the virtual warehouses. In this virtual warehouse, again it will check, is this data already available in a cache? If it is available, then it will give from the directly from the cache area. If it is not, then only it will go to the storage area and then will pick. It means first time when you fire a query, let's assume that it went to the basic data storage resources, then it has given the data. Then the data will be available in this particular cache. Next time when you are firing, the again it will not go to the data storage, so it will not pick. It will directly pick from the cache. It means so it is not charging anything from the second time onwards. So for this we have different concepts, so like a time travel mechanism, and then a retention period mechanism is available in Snowflake. We will discuss more so in the next classes. So now these all are the benefits. So what we have discussed, so only we can zero management, only we can pay what we are using, so we can share our data, then so all the users can able to access the data. Okay, so, so the thing. Now let's observe this one. This one, so we are discussing, right? So we have other cloud services also for data warehouse like Amazon Redshift and Shift and Microsoft Azure, and then Google GCP BigQuery. Now observe the Snowflake capacities here. So almost all these options available in Snowflake. So which of these some of the options is not available in sorry other cloud services. So that's why so most of the companies, so when now the if they are migrating a database, or if they are looking for any new data warehouse, so they are planning for this particular Snowflake warehouse. Now let's jump into Snowflake account, and then I will show you what exactly we are going to do in the Snowflake, how it looks like, how easily we can able to, what are the advanced options is available in Snowflake, how easily we can able to play around the Snowflake. We will see that Snowflake is a GUI, graphical user interface. With the URL you can able to access. So generally, if you want to access any database, what we have to do, we need to install, right? We need to install a so software exe file. So then once it is installed, then we can able to connect with SQL developer, or so then we can able to connect, or you can able to connect with Toad, whatever it may be. Then SQL Plus, right? So we are going to connect. So these are the interfaces. Right now here, let's observe the same interfaces. We are going to Snowflake CLI is a command line interface. So apart from this, so we have basically this GUI. So we can able to access this with URL. Now observe this. This is the URL. When I give the URL, so we are going to give username. I'm giving the username and password, and then password. Now once we give the username and password, now it's log into this account. Now when we observe this here, so this is a by default this admin, right? See this all the accounts we have by default. When you log in, it will log in with sysadmin. So we have a other accounts like public, security admin, user admin, and then account admin. So here, if you want all the options like super user powers, then you have to go with account admin. The billing information, all these details, so it will be available only in account admin only. So you cannot able to see those details in a so any of the other roles. But most of the time we will work with a sysadmin here. Any user, so just they want to so see the things. They don't want to do anything, then we will give a so user admin, sorry, public, right? So
Quick
then we will
question,
give yes,
Ganesh.
yeah.
So, is this the free trial version, or is this already
This
like
one what?
enterprise
Yeah,
level?
yeah, I understand. So what we are seeing now here, this is a free trial version. So for the 1 month, so no need to pay anything for 1 month to play around this tool. Okay, so
Thanks.
it's a 30 days free trial version only. Okay, now so we have all these options. If you observe this here, databases, and then we have a shares. Database is general database, and we have a shares. We can able to share the database to the so multiple systems, and then the marketplace, data marketplace, to connect with the external, and then this is a warehouse. So when you are creating VDAs, right? So here we discuss, right? Where it is exactly this one. This one is nothing but a VDA here. This one warehouse here, and then worksheet. So when you want to execute anything, so you have to execute any queries here. Now let's observe this. So how easily we can able to create a table. Observe this. So we connected to this particular database now here. Here it will show us so which so user you have logged in, and then what is your data warehouse here, and then what is the database, and then what is the schema. Now, so let's see how easily we can able to create a table here. Come to database. Now click on any one database. Observe this. Create. So this you can give sample table. I given a name, and then you can give comment, more purpose, and then columns. We can add how many columns we required. Just I am adding. This one is for, let's assume that employee ID, and then employee name, and then employee salary. And then what about the data types? The ID will be integer, and then string, then salary, integer. And so we don't have in like other databases. So we don't have primary key and foreign key here. So just for the logical representation, so you can utilize the primary key and foreign key, but it doesn't follow primary key and foreign key concept. So here it is only one constraint is there, that is not null constraint. Okay. So now let's click on finish. See this, the table is created. Table is created.
So,
If you
sorry, quick question.
go ahead, go ahead.
So we created a table in a in a VDI, or where did we create that table now?
We created a table in this particular database.
Okay.
When you come to
So
this database, we created this table. See this? In class 7. Database is class 7. Inside the database, we created a table. So when you want to access this table, let's come to this. So your question will be clarified here. Now, class 7, right? Class 7. If you observe, by default, it will be created in public schema because we didn't specify anything. We didn't specify anything here. So where we have to create,
it's an internal stages. Last one.
sample table, right? If you want to access this, generally what we will do, select star from table name, right? Sample table, right? We will give the query and then we will execute this. When you execute, it will give error. Observe this, because so we didn't specify through which VDI we need to access this. Yes, we created the database, but so how to access this? Observe this. This is a t-shirt sizes. So when I click on this one, so we'll have all these options, right? We will see that when we created a how to create a warehouse in the class. Now, so this one, database class 7, and then where it is available, internal stages it has created, internal stages. Now observe this. Okay, count, what we are trying to do, count star, right? We are trying to execute count star. Observe this icon here. Observe this icon, the small icon, right? The radio button kind of thing. It is not enabled, right? Observe this. When we are executing count star, not authorized.
I think the spelling is wrong. Sample.
I will give like this. When you double click on this, automatically it is going to take this one. Just a minute. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. I'm sorry. So now, so here if you observe, the spelling is so wrong we have taken. Now let's execute this. So when we execute this, it is showing the count. But if you observe, is it utilizing the warehouse? No, it's not enabled, right? Now, just observe this. Select star we are using, and then run this. Do you have any data here? No, right? So it is not utilizing this one. Let's take any other table from the same internal stages, any one thing. So which is having some data. Okay, here we have some data. Now we'll use observe this one. See this? Now it has been resumed and then it is utilizing the warehouse. It means it went to that particular storage area and then it went to that particular warehouse. So then it has been utilized. If you want to see here, so we can able to see the data, right? So instead of firing a query, just if you want to see any specific data, just go to that specific table. See this, the high level information it is showing EMP force. We can able to see 8 records. If you want to see the data, just click on this and then preview. Observe this one. Now we can able to see the data. Same way, if you want to filter any columns, so no need to again file a query. Just click on this. Instead of select all, select only the records, only the columns which we want to see here. Now observe this, only those columns. And again, I need to filter only the salary is 2000. Then just give here and then click on 2000. Observe this, right? So these are the flexibilities we have. So in our GUI, so we can create directly at the same time. So when we are loading the data also, we can able to load the data based on this GUI. For example, let's come to this particular table. Let's come to the database. If you want to load anything, you have to load the data from here. See this, we have a option, right? Just when you click on the load table, then it will ask you which warehouse. Let's try to load some data. So we need to select a file. So we'll pick one file and then try to load, or any Excel file, whatever it may be. Next, let it be. We'll see. If it is not going to take, then we will take the another thing. So because we have, okay, our structure is different, and then so this structure is different. That's why it is not loading the data. If you observe, I will show you something. Let me come to this. So why it is not loading? If you
So,
observe EMP7 table.
quick question, Dinesh. Are we
Yes, yes,
trying
yes. Go ahead.
to load, like bulk load data, or are we trying to create a
Exactly.
whole new table?
No, no, we are trying to load the data. We created a structure by using the option, right? Now we
Okay.
are trying to load the data. See this here, if you observe, we have 5 columns, right? But how many columns we have created here? We created only 3 columns here. That's why, so it is throwing error. But this is the option, how to load the data. But with this option, with this GUI option, we can load very less volume of the data. Let's say around 1000 records or 2000 records like that. But when you want to load huge volume of the records, then we are going to use Snowflake CLI. Is a command line interface. By using that, we are going to use put command. With the put command, we are going to use the same way how we will work with SQL, right? SQL plus this are toad, the queries. So same way we are going to use it CLI here. So that is another CLI concept. So when we are connecting to external, or when you are exporting any data from external systems like AWS S3 bucket or Google GCP or Azure systems, then we have to connect with CLI. Through CLI, we will use a put command, then we will load the data into Snowflake. So that is the options we have. Okay, and if you want to download, if you observe here, let's assume that we have some data here. With this, we have some data. If you want to download, we can download the data also. Come to the result, see this option, we have a download option. So it will create a file in our local system, but only 10 MB. Others, can you able to hear?
Yes.
Priya is telling unable to hear. Priya, could you please check your connectivity? If still you are unable to hear, please rejoin. Okay, fine. So now with this option, we can able to download only 10 MB of the data. That's it. If you want to download from the table or from the database any specific table data more than 10 MB, then we have to use again the CLI. Okay, when you are handling with huge volume of the data, when you are handling with external systems, then we have to go to CLI, command line interface, then we have to work with. So other than this, remaining everything, so we can able to work with these worksheets only. So we can see, so we will see all these options, what all the options available here, and then how to utilize each and every option here. So most of the time, so when you are copying the data, so what all the options we have, so what are the issues we are going to face, how to how to rectify that particular issues, and so all those things we will see that. So most of the time, so every day, so when we are continuing the classes, so first, so how we are going to plan this is, first to everyone is having the basic knowledge on data warehouse. Just we will high level, we will discuss about what is data warehouse, what are the options we have, and then what is database and all these things. Then we will directly jump into the Snowflake. So then, so we will continue. So each and everything, how to create a database, warehouse, and then tables. So how to load the data. Then we will jump into the advanced topics like pipeline, capture data change, and then integrate with external systems. How we are going to get connected to AWS or Azure or GCP. So all these things. Okay, so we'll cover from basic to advanced. Yes, we will do that, Padmakar. Migration also we will do that. Okay, I will show you the each and every example here. Don't worry about that. Everything will be practical only, so not the theoretical things. Okay, so once it's completed, the 1 or 2 classes, I will give you assignments also for your better practice and understanding purpose. So then you will be very clear in understanding the data.